The serious but fun work is about to begin, and we will start with Ms. Perrin. Welcome. The floor is yours for 1 minute.
Good evening. My name is Tamra Perrin. I am not a politician, but I do have a vested interest as a citizen of a resident of lifelong Detroit, that as a taxpayer, my children are grown and gone. They're no longer in Detroit public school system, but I have a vested interest in the students because, as I say, a taxpayer, I'm concerned about the money, the dollars that are invested in education. I'm concerned that our students, our children have a quality education. And when schools close, it means that creates blight within a community. So as a taxpayer, I want to see us have a stable life. I want our children to be able to be educated so they can go out and compete globally, have good jobs, good quality of life. And as a senior, I'm trying to do all that I can, and with the knowledge and skills and experience that I have, I'm going to try and do everything that I can as a team member, if elected to the board, to do and make positive change. However, I can do nothing unless I'm voted in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Victor Robinson, Victor D. Robinson. I live in District 5. My number one issue is making sure that our youth have a voice. And not only a voice, but making sure that they are involved along with the community in every decision that we make as a school board. As a DPS graduate from K through 12, graduated from Cass Tech in 2006, I'm not far removed from where those students sit today. Me and my peers, we were, subject to the disinvestment, the emergency management, and how it deteriorated our school system. I wear the weight of our Detroit public school students who are subject to savage inequalities that our suburban counterparts, compared to our suburban counterparts. I carry the tears on my sleeves for special needs students that aren't given the same education as general education students, or don't have the resources to thrive and succeed. I'll carry the load on my back for DPS graduates who go off to colleges and universities and aren't adequately prepared, or have to take remedial math courses, or take 5, 6, 7, 8 years to finish an undergraduate degree.
Thank you.
So I'm here to advocate for our youth and make sure that we make it happen and make sure that they succeed in the future.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm Debra Hunter Harville. This is all that's left. I've been out every night advocating for our children, for our teachers, for our administrators. I will definitely deal with achievement as it impacts special ed and general ed. And there's so much more, but I'll save it for the table. I live in District 5. I believe that all children can learn and that education is truly their civil right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Iris Taylor, and I live in District 7. And I believe that true advocacy for the children of the city of Detroit is what we all should be committed to. It is what I am invested and passionate about. I'm a native Detroiter. I'm invested in the city of Detroit. I have a lot of volunteer time with many agencies because I'm invested, and I believe that that is what you're supposed to do. I believe that we have to invest in our educators, we have to invest in our leaders, we have to ensure that we provide services for children with challenges and wraparound services, and we have to be accountable and transparent and engage everyone in a singular vision focused on the child first. That's what we should be about.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Misha Stallworth, and I'm running for school board because every day there are 100,000 students that are leaving our district. And I think that they, along with the parents and grandparents who don't have the means to leave the district, deserve the right to a quality education within their neighborhoods. I see running for school board as what I'm supposed to do. I was very blessed to have a level of investment from my family and community that allowed me to get a top education in the country, from the University of Chicago to the University of Michigan, to do service in in Chicago Public Schools, in LAUSD, and on the far west side of Detroit. So to me, running for school board is not only about seeing a challenge, but also figuring out how to solve it and really taking the next step. So I'm doing that, and I'm trying to improve the quality of schools, as well as see our children holistically and figure out what all of their needs are that we can fill the gaps in. So I'd really appreciate your support, and I look forward to talking to you more.
Good evening. My name is Phillip Paulwell II. I live in District 2 currently. I believe the question was the top policy. Mm-hmm. So the top policy for this board is to establish a vision, both a long-term vision, collaboratively with the majority of folks who are elected. Second is that we need to come up with a plan that we can live by, a structure. Third is we need to be accountable to you all who elect us to that structure that we set up for success. My personal and professional opinion is that this board is the people's board, and we are responsible for designing and developing a vision that will ensure that every student is a productive citizen in the city of Detroit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Norma Galvan, and I'm from District 6. Oh, I'm very nervous, but I'm not a political person. I'm running as a parent, and the reason I'm running as a parent is I have a daughter who's 23 who went through public schools in DPS and was diagnosed at the age of 18 with Asperger's and never got picked up during school. So I'm very concerned about that they didn't train the teachers well enough. And I believe also that all schools should be bilingual. So that was also taken. So like I said, I'm not a political person, but I am doing it as a parent. And I also, where I work, I service families, so that is very important to me, not only the students, but the families. And then the teachers also, because they have a very important role, where if you don't train them professionally, then they cannot do a job either.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for spending your Thursday night with us. I'm Sonia Mays, and I'm running for school board because I am deeply concerned that we are in danger of losing our traditional public school system and in danger of it being replaced with an all-charter environment. I believe that public education is one of the most progressive things that this country has ever done. It ranks right up there with Social Security and free public libraries. It's worth defending. It's worth protecting. I don't have children, but I've been trying to make the case that it's not just on the backs of parents with school-aged children. It's all of our responsibilities. My DPS education allowed me to go to the University of Michigan and get 3 degrees, including a law degree and an MBA. It allowed me to go work on Wall Street, to become an attorney, to come back home and start my own real estate development nonprofit. I think I have a number of skills that can help stabilize this system. I want to be a part of the solution. I know how to fix things, I know how to build things, and I just want to contribute.
Thank you.
My name is John Telford. I'm in District 1. I was the chosen superintendent of the rightfully elected, democratically elected school board that you all voted in. That was undemocratically dissolved. And I am running with the speed slate, which consists of most of those democratically elected board members who are running again along with me, because we want to make sure that the priority schools are brought up to snuff. I haven't heard anybody talk among all the candidates, and I've been at several of these forums, about getting the priority schools up to snuff. And I do have a plan to make that happen. I've talked about that on News Talk 1200 every Sunday afternoon, and I invite you to do that. It's at 3 o'clock. I'll be doing it again. I'll have Lamar Lemons on there with me, as I have for the past several weeks. And I thank all of you for coming out here tonight. It's very heartening to see so many people who want to run for this board. And I would repeat what Chastity and what everyone else said this evening about commending everyone who's here.
Right.
Thank you
John.
for listening.
Right. Folks, one point right there. Mr. Telford, he was ill. There was a communication issue. His picture, the worksheet you got, your cheat sheet, Mr. Telford's not on that sheet, so you just need to add in his name and keep whatever comments you want. Everybody here's got a document where they can kind of follow along. So since there's so many folks, they can say, oh yeah, I remember this about this particular person. So with that, Penny Baylor.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I love being in this room because I've been working with Citizen Detroit as a volunteer for about 4 years. Isn't this great? I love this crowd. I'm Penny Baylor. I live in District 5 downtown. I've lived downtown in Lafayette Park for 41 years. I'll never leave. I love it. So I came here with my late husband, and I got hooked. He said he had to drag me here kicking and screaming, but now wild horses couldn't get me out, and that's true. I was on the school board. I was very fortunate to be on the school board in 1990 to 94 when Debra McGriff was the superintendent. You probably remember her. And we have a card here tonight. We're running as a slate. There's 4 of us, very excellent people, and I hope you'll pick one up before you go. The reason I'm running is that I've realized that it really doesn't matter what our mayor does or what our billionaires do to renovate and rejuvenate this city if we don't fix our schools. Nothing else matters, because they are the ones in 18, 15, 20 years that are going to be the adults. And as we get older, and some of us will move on to higher places, I hope, they will be the ones. And if we haven't educated them properly, the city is lost. I'm thinking about this for the future of the city as well as the individual children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Mack, and I live in District 2. And you might have seen me on CNN. I still do CNN, and talking about financial literacy and economic empowerment. I started multiple businesses, a financial planning company. I worked at the largest NASDAQ trading firm in the world. Graduate of the University of Michigan, majored in finance. I've written multiple books about financial literacy, so my background is finance, but I'll tell you, nothing has been more fulfilling than the time that I spent in schools, to hundreds of schools here in Detroit every single year, teaching about the importance of financial literacy to youth, teaching youth about how to start their own businesses. So whether I'm working with the board, and I want to run because I want to make sure that this board provides an era of fiscal responsibility, but I also want to make sure that our youth are exposed to fiscal responsibility as well. So I look forward to having, again, to go off script for a second, I hope that we all can just come together and be unified no matter who wins. There's a lot of great candidates up here, and I think that overall we have to come together to make sure that we come together to unite for the sake of our children, and I hope that we can do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Theresa Madison. I am a product of Detroit Public Schools. I was a teacher in Detroit Public Schools. I was a principal for 20 years. I am blessed to have the education from the great Detroit Public Schools. I was at Michigan State at the age of 16 because of Detroit Public Schools. Why do I think I can be a candidate? I started teaching at Bates Academy, and I wanted to go to another school in Detroit Public Schools. So I was at the time, what we call a low achieving school. I brought the school up, and our president, Obama, asked for the Secretary of Education for me to come to tell them how I changed that school around that is still flourishing today. So if I did it 5 years ago, I can do it now. I just want to be a part of making all of Detroit Public Schools effective. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and I thank you for having me here. My name is Leslie Andrews, and I am a resident of District 2. I am a K-12 Detroit Public School graduate, and I'm running for the Detroit Public School District School Board. Excuse me. I'm running for the school board because I want to continue the work that I've already done. I am a community relations and corporate philanthropy officer of a major corporation. And we've been putting dollars into Detroit Public Schools directly and also through nonprofits that support Detroit Public Schools for the last 4.5 years. I look forward to being able to share some of those investments with you at the table. I'm also looking to make sure that our students, our top priority is academics. We need student achievement, and all things and resources that can bring about student achievement are very critical. If it's resources financially, if it's making sure that we have some of the best paid teachers, that make sure that we have buildings that are safe, to make sure that we have leadership that definitely can lead and be effective, and to ensure that we have all the things that we need to give our kids the best education possible. And I look forward to doing that.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen White, and I am an educator. I've been an educator, I think, since I've been age 5, teaching, playing school when I was age 5, and to this day as associate superintendent. I've also served for DPS as a principal, as a teacher, and as a reading supervisor. And speaking of reading, as reading supervisor, that is my passion. That's what I really think we need to focus on, is high academic standards based on a good reading program, research-based. I also do believe one of the major policies that we have to develop as a school board, as a group, is to focus on our schools that are being threatened to be closed. Over 30 schools are being threatened by the SRO office to be closed, and we need to develop policy that will save those schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Brandon Brice, and I'm running for DPS school board. And you asked what was the most pressing issue. Well, one of the most pressing issues right now is local control. It's important and it's time that teachers and students had a voice at the table. I'll tell you right now, I'm originally from Southwest Detroit. Both my parents were police officers, and I'm a graduate of Howard University and Rutgers University. But more important, I'm fighting for kids. Kids need to continue and always be the focus of the conversation. And so I'm asking for your vote. I don't have any kids now, but when I win, I'll have 49,000. And I'm asking for your vote because it's important that we get it right. Our kids can't wait. So it's important that we get it right in January. So I ask you to don't think twice, vote Brice.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Charmaine Johnson, and I have a quote by Quinlan that I think really signifies a little bit about who I am. And it says, when a goal matters enough to a person, that person will find a way to accomplish it. And if they don't succeed, they still will continue trying. My focus is to improve the success of our children in school and in life. I have a specific plan that directs resources to the classroom and corrects shortfalls in all administrative processes. My experience has been as a classroom teacher, teacher coordinator. I have been a director of an early childhood program, research and evaluation. Also, I work in the faith-based community. My passion is health and nutrition. And I also believe in entrepreneurship and vocational education. My name is Charmaine Johnson.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Keith L. Whitney. I live in District 4. I am a pastor at Sanctuary Fellowship Baptist Church on the west side. But I'm also a graduate of Beaubien High School, Beaubien Junior High, so you know how old I am, and Mumford High School. And I graduated from Virginia Union University, United Theological Seminary when I got my doctorate. I'm running to continue something I started here in Detroit several years ago. I'm also the Education Task Force leader for Moses. And you may have heard about us as we marched from Detroit to Lansing, as we sought to have better education for our young folks. One of the issues for me is tremendously important is our teachers. We need to educate our young folks, but you got to have great teachers, you got to have older teachers, you got to have qualified younger teachers. So for me, every child deserves every opportunity to be educated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Turman. I live in Northwest Detroit. I've lived there for 28 years. I've served as the pastor of Second Baptist Church, the birthplace of public education for African Americans in Detroit, for 28 years. The single largest issue I think I want to address is the disconnection between the community and our public education. Too many people, if they don't have children in the schools, feel disconnected. Many of us were surprised when the teachers had their walkout in order to draw attention to conditions within many of our facilities. I think it's going to require, indeed, the whole village of Detroit if we're going to raise and save our children. I believe that we need to make sure that we have quality public education for every child in every neighborhood. I'm the product of neighborhood education. I got a bachelor's degree from Harvard, and a master's degree from Yale, all built on public education in the neighborhood schools. I think our children deserve the same kind of education.
Thank you.
Good morning for, it's not even morning, is it? Boy, do I know where I am. You'll remember me, won't you? Okay, I'm Ben Marshburn. I'm from District 1 up in far northwest Detroit. James Tate's district these days as a councilman. I represented that same area. I was elected 4 times to the old reform boards between 89 and 99 when we were pushed off. From 96, I'm really here to finish something I started then. In 96, I was the chair until 99 of the ethics committee of the board. And my mission was to get us out of contracting, get us out of micromanaging, get us back into policy making. Put together at that time this document, 80 pages long, which went through 20 public hearings. And 8 of the 11 board's members in 99 were ready to adopt this when we were pushed off. I'm back to make sure that it gets going again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mary Khavari, and I am a former Detroit Public School parent, National Board Certified Teacher for Detroit Public Schools, and a Detroit Public School Award-winning principal at Cody DIT. I am running on a platform of clean and safe schools, 100 highly qualified teachers for all of our classrooms, and 100% transparency, good or bad, with our community. Education is the absolutely longest lever we have to ensure equity in this city, in this state, and in this country. My experience affords me the opportunity to push on that lever strategically, but with urgency. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Juliet Hawkins Williams, current school board member. District 7 is my district, but District 4 for the council, which is Councilman Spivey. My background is community development and early childhood development. I am an early childhood provider for, I'm giving my age now, 20 years now. The reason why I want to be elected again for school board is because we have a marginalized group, which is our infants and toddlers. They're being neglected, and it's the very foundation in which we're building K through 12 education on. We have to focus more on early childhood development, starting from conception. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, families. My name is Rita McFadden Carpenter. This is my 40th year as a teacher. I've taught preschool through grade 12. I brought my cards. I don't want to leave anything out. What I know is important is reading and literacy. How do I know? Because of 40 years of teaching. What I know to be a fact is that in the state of Michigan, teachers are now required to be proficient in phonics because they're only required to take 1 class. And so I know this to be a fact. I personally experienced that with my own 2 children who never learned how to read from a teacher. I had to take my children to a phonics specialist, and they were taught how to read. So literacy, reading, number 1, small class sizes. We got to have fun. We have to add fun to schools. Clubs, art, music, PE. We have to educate the parents, parent workshops. Okay, I received a Teacher of the Year award out of 12,000 teachers. I was one of 4 teachers to receive that award. Thank you. College Readiness Plan, my organization gets people into college, students into college, and funds them to go to college for free.
Thank
Rita
you.
McFadden Carpenter.
Thank you very much.